I'm Susie Chase Motzkin. I'm a professional skier, trainer of ski instructors, but my passion truly lies in mind-body healing. I've been practicing it and researching it for well over 30 years, and I've found through my own experiences in the lifestyle that I live, where I tend to wreck myself every now and then, that using your mind can exponentially speed up your healing and reverse stuff, reverse all kinds of stuff, in fact, that are happening in your body. Every single cell in your body will regenerate to a new cell. So you can either make it a good cell or a bad cell through your intention. But I'll tell you the story. So about 20 years ago, I had spent 8 years in a row of a debilitating back problem. I got, I know that some of you know exactly what I'm talking about, that when your back goes out, you just can't do anything. I couldn't stand up and make dinner for the family. I couldn't sit at the table. I would, be able to sit for maybe a few minutes and then I'd have to move. Lying down was the most comfortable I could get. It got so bad at one point, 30 different practitioners, tried everybody, acupuncture, chiropractic, physicians with painkillers and muscle relaxants, and just an endless list of practitioners. It was, it would give me a little bit of comfort at some point, but it would always go back until one day I couldn't ski anymore, so we took the family to Florida, and I went to what's called the Upledger Institute. Dr. William Steger was working there, and I think it was just my benefit that I came across this incredible teacher. So I'm lying on his table. He's got me on my back with his hand under me, and he is asking me, "What are you holding on to?" And I was like, "What do you mean, what am I holding on to? My life's good. I've got a wonderful family that loves me, and I love my work, my home." And he goes, "I want you to think really hard and see if you can come up with something." And so I'm lying there, and I'm all of a sudden, it hit me, and I go, "Oh, yeah, I've been really worried about somebody, and a long time of being worried about them." And lo and behold, as soon as I realized that, my back just kind of let go a little bit. But still within the process, he was having me find my pain, exactly where it was, pinpoint it, he said. And then in the center of the pain is like an eye of a storm. There's this calm, this white light. So along with this visualization of finding the center of the pain, and my attention now to how I was holding in my body, I was able to release, and it was like a miracle. I walked away from there like everything was all good. Prior to that appointment, I had had an MRI taken that showed bulging discs and degenerative vertebrae. I made an appointment with a specialist at the Hospital of Special Surgery to go for a consult relative to fusing my vertebrae. I didn't like that idea, obviously. But so after leaving Dr. Steger's office, I continued with visualization. One of the practices I was using was from a book called Remembered Wellness, where I would actually lie there and try to remember how I felt on Dr. Steger's table, what it felt like with his hands and with his coaching and compassion toward me. I envisioned this blue light coming through the top of my head. And the blue light was to reduce the angry red inflammation. I envisioned the easy for you to say, intravertebral muscles that were along my spine, and I imagined them elongating. I imagined the discs squeezing inward and upward like a corset. And I envisioned my cells redividing and filling in the space that was crumbling on the edge of the vertebra. I did this when I would fall asleep, this visualization, because research shows that your subconscious mind continues while you're sleeping. So I had all this picturing going on, and I was feeling better, and I ended up going to that visit with the doctor at Hospital of Special Surgery, and he's watching me bend. He's looking at the pictures, and the pictures don't look good to him, but my movement is looking like it doesn't go with the pictures. So he said, I'd like you to go down and get another MRI, and we'll see what the story is. And so I got the other MRI, and he puts it up next to the other, and he's back and forth between the two, and he's like, wait a minute, which one of these was taken first? And he's looking at the MRIs, and he's like, wow, it shows that you have improvement on your degenerative vertebrae. Well. So my imagery actually grew the cells back, and I explained to him that I had been practicing pretty religiously, doing a lot of imagery on the healing of my back. And he goes, well, if you have any further problems, just come back to see me. Well, that was a long time ago, and in the interim, I broke my tailbone in a crash about 5 years ago. I smacked down really hard, and after landing on my face and bouncing off that first, and it snapped my tailbone like that. I knew it was broken, and sure enough, the x-ray showed it, but Doc said there that I was going to have to wait 3 weeks before I could get an MRI to see what other damage there was in my lower back. So as I was lying down on the couch, convalescing for those 3 weeks, I was picturing the blue light. I was putting my hands on it a lot to kind of focus the energy, and plus the electromagnetics that emit from your hands improve the flow of blood and neurological elements. And so I'm picturing this of my bones kind of knitting back together like so. And I was feeling better, but something was still a little whack, and I wasn't sure what it was, but my tailbone felt pretty okay. So I go to get this MRI, and about a week later, Doc calls me back. He goes, Susie, your MRI shows that you have an old injury on your tailbone, but you have 2 fractures on your sacrum. I go, yeah. He's like, what are you so excited about? And I was like, hey, Doc, you remember my tailbone was snapped. You can see the fracture like with a gap in it. And now it's an old injury on the MRI. So we had a chuckle over that. And I did more imagery on the sacrum, and good to go. So you too can use your mind to heal your body.